Welcome to Really Raw, the podcast for coaches and creators who want to build luxury brands without burning out. I'm Rahaf, business energetics coach, PhD student, and sponsored skateboarder. I went from serving tables and hustling every client to building six-figure systems and offers that sell in my sleep. Here we talk all things raw when it comes to business strategy, nervous system regulation, and stepping into your goddess frequency with tangible, actionable steps to help you scale to consistent 10K plus months. If you're here, you know freedom is your birthright. Let's get into it. Hi, welcome back to the Really Raw podcast. I brought in a special guest today, and I figured what better guest for my first guest outside of Team RR, because you've seen Mike come on here, than my own coach. Hi, Jaden.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited. I brought Jaden in today so we could have a conversation together to really walk you through almost 5 years of us working together, which is so crazy to think about because I remember the day that we met like it was yesterday. Do you remember the day?
Wild. We met at like 11 p.m. I don't know what time it was. It was really dark. And could I?
Yeah.
So, I remember because, obviously we talk about in our work all the time, like we can plan things and we can go the logical route. And I know, we're tracking things and we're running business well, but so much of the amazing stuff that happens is miraculous and synchronistic. And I remember I drove from San Diego to Los Angeles, and I particularly remember that day. I was really hot, like it was really hot outside. I did not feel like going out and skateboarding. I just wanted to go to sleep, but I ended up going to a night skate park, which I never do. And there was this chick with blue hair standing on the ramp, and you were trying to skate this spine, which I don't know if your guests know what a spine is, but it's, like a thin piece of metal, and you were trying to skate this spine over and over and over and over again, and just so diligent and focused. And I just remember meeting you there, and then we ran into each other at another event, I think maybe like a couple weeks later. But yeah, that night has a lot to do with what happened over the next 5 years.
Yeah, and it's funny too how you said synchronistic, because it was unusual for me to be at that park that night too, because it was March 28th, 2021. How does she know the exact date? Well, synchronistically, I also met Mike, my partner, that night too. I met both of you at the same skate park on the same night, and I was supposed to skate somewhere else, but for some reason that park was not open because it was still like COVID-esque time. So the amount of things that had to happen for the three of us to be there at the same time, it's a big part of my story, and I talk about it a lot. And for the listeners listening who have seen my master classes, especially my most recent one, I share a little bit about it inside. So having you here is so special. Thank you for being here.
I could sit here all day. I'm already like, I don't want it to be over.
I know. And, there's so much that we could talk about here. And I didn't even want to plan anything. I don't like planning these episodes because I want to be able to just be in the flow with you. And we recently had a VIP day in San Diego. Mm-hmm. And once a year, we have a full day together in person. And this most recent one, I feel like was so incredibly magical because of how much I've already walked around the world differently. And I feel like after every Zoom call we have, I feel that way. But the shifts that happened as quick as they were, I mean, where do I even begin with that? Can you share a little bit about like why you do these VIP days and how much of an impact they have just being in that in-person connection? Because that was an intention that we set together, is to do more in-person things, because primarily a lot of my business is through social media.
Yeah.
But that intention of in-person.
I first want to say it's so funny because you're like, every time we have a call, I have a huge breakthrough. And I want everyone listening to know that Rahaf and I meet every single week for an hour. And it's amazing. It just says so much about you and who you are, that you you gather enough material week after week in your life. And by that, I mean, every single time we talk, you are on a totally different thing. You've done so much, you've interacted with the world so much. And so it's just so incredible that every week you come and you're like, I have a whole world of material that we can work with today, whether we're doing coaching on the business or it's internal stuff. And then we have a VIP day and we're like, okay, cool. Let's see if we can fill up 10 hours. No, I'm just kidding. But, and we do. And the last VIP day that we did was so fun. I just remember getting there with you and we were chit-chatting on the couch and we immediately went into this hour-long conversation about some marketing stuff. And then you and I just sat at this table. We were at this beautiful table in Rancho Santa Fe at the my most favorite hotel and spa. And we just opened up the laptops and without talking to each other, we're just like, like just started typing and being so productive because we worked together for so long. And, one of the things that I know you value the same way I do is working with someone for a long period of time, because the intersection that we work at is alignment. And when you really get to know somebody, I myself have people I've worked with for years and years and years. And when you get to know somebody over a really long period of time, not only, of course, sure, are you more productive, but you can't hide from your stuff. You can't make up a new story on a Monday morning because we get each other. And so then when we come together, we can just be so productive. And it really makes such a big difference to work with someone you know. But the VIP day and why I do them is for so many reasons, but the main one is the work that we do. So I run a program called Open Field. I work with people privately. I support multidimensional leaders, founders, entrepreneurs, and creatives, helping them unearth their best work and most meaningful lives. So of course I'm interested in let's make money because, it really just makes life easier and makes the world a better place. But also if we don't wake up in the morning feeling fulfilled, or we don't lay our head down at night feeling clear and feeling like we were doing things that were congruent during the day, then none of it's worth it. I would rather have $0 in a meaningful life than millions of dollars in a life that doesn't feel good. And I think so many of us have felt that, but we're like, cool, how do we have both? That's what we're really interested in. And that's what we create here, as you know, from doing this work. But the VIP day specifically is because I'll just be really honest. Like, as I've done this work, I've found myself so many times being like, I just want 8 hours. Like, I want 8 hours devoted to what I'm creating, devoted to my energy. I want to walk into a room, focus in on some stuff and walk out and feel like I'm a totally different person. And so that's where the VIP day was created from. But it really evolved into understanding that what's really behind a lot of this transformation, spoiler, of course, isn't really strategy. It's how we feel when we walk into a room. It's how we're leading ourselves. It's how we're moving about the world. And the VIP day is really focused on transforming that at a really deep level, really transforming the way that we feel, the way that we view ourselves, the way that we are showing up behind our offers and behind what we're creating, so that the other stuff that we do, the strategy, the this and that and the other, can really take off. And I think that's what you felt in our day, and that's why it was so special.
Yeah. And so much on that, what you said before about how you've created this long-term container with me, and you taught me how to create that with my clients too. And it was the reason why when we see each other, we just pick up where we left off, because literally every week that we see each other, I feel like a season has gone by because so much happens. I have a full notepad full of all these things that I want to talk about with you. A lot of the times I'm like on the edge of my seat, just like minutes counting by. I'm like so excited. And it's incredible how after all this time to still have that feeling because of that alignment and that way that you've built the container that we have to be able to make it sustainable and renew. And it's taught me to be able to do that too, because you don't see that a lot
in the coaching industry. It's mostly churn and burn, get in
Mhm.
for 3 months, we're done. There's like an end date, but that's not what you taught me as far as offer structure. And that's why I've been able to have long-term clients as well. So that when we got together, like you said, we just picked up and did the work.
Yeah.
And last year's VIP day was on the Lionsgate Day portal. So that was also magical on 8/8. So there was just so much in there. And, I just want to backtrack a little bit because I didn't even have a business when we started working together. In fact, I didn't have one for 2 years into our relationship, just about, because I started, the business planning and all that. It was about like April 2023, and it really took off in 2024. So what kind of work did we do before I even thought that I
Oh.
wanted to be a business owner?
Oh my gosh, so much of it. I'm just laughing because when we signed our most recent contract, it was 15 months. You probably remember how many months we have left. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's been like nearly a year. But I remember you were like, as long as like I'll sign this, as long as you're not sick of me. And I'm like, no, I'm down as long as you still have stuff to talk to me about.
That's not a problem.
No, and then I remember after our VIP day, I met with a friend who works in the industry as well. She's been, coaching and personal development for, I don't know, probably 15 years and just has been in this world a long time. And she was like, I've never met anybody who's retained a client. I don't think of you as like I haven't like retained you, but she was like, I don't know anybody who's retained a client for that long, and has done this work with someone. So it really is special. And I think it's what so many of us are missing just in the world, not only in coaching and mentorship, but going out in the world, going to the same coffee shop, developing a relationship with a barista, like accountability, community, and really sticking with something and mastering it over time. I think that's the ingredient that so many people are missing. They're just like bouncing around and looking for the next hot thing. Like, oh, this hot Pilates class. Oh, this, I don't know why this came up. Like this diet didn't work. Let me try this one. This course didn't work. And so much of it is ourselves and what we bring to the table, and giving ourselves something over a long period of time is what really makes the difference. And I forget what you asked me. We were talking about our long term. What did you ask me?
I asked you, what we did before I became a
Oh,
business owner.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So I remember I was living in a studio at the time in Highland Park, Los Angeles, I think is what
Hmm.
it was. Maybe I was in San Diego at the beginning, but I was mostly in the studio in Highland Park. It was so cute. I loved living there. And I remember you wrote me and you said something along the lines, which I know so many of us can relate to because this is how it begins. You were like, I just want to like enjoy my life, like live my best life. I always try to do marketing and I'm like, how do I market without saying live my best life? But it's what we all want. And I,
Hmm.
I think I remember you coming to me and just saying something along those lines. Like, I just want to feel excited about my life. I just want to, feel like I'm on purpose. And you were working in a restaurant at the time. You had finished your master's.
Hmm.
You had finished your master's. And what we were oriented toward, because so much of this work, at least on my end, it's not about an outcome. It's not like, let's make $500,000, let's land the job, let's do this. What I'm focused on is how can we orient ourselves toward satisfaction, toward fulfillment? How can we wake up every day and just move in the direction of where we want to go? And so that's where we started. And what really stands out the most for me, I mean, I remember you getting the job at Pepperdine, which was huge. But what really stands out for me, can I talk about this, was with, like, I think your relationship and what was going
Yeah.
on
Yep.
internally. We spent a lot of our time together, a little bit about job and work and where am I heading. And you were trying different things like the pants company, the necklaces, which you still have. Like we were kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like, how do we create a life that feels really good? But the bulk of our work was, I hate to use the word healing, but the bulk of our work was really transforming your internal world, becoming secure, becoming confident in yourself in a really deep way. And in the beginning, a lot of that was oriented toward relationship. And I know now I can joke because we all understand this if we've been in this world. It shows up in every single relationship, every client relationship, every contract, every time you take a big leap. And so a lot of our work was doing that deeper security, confidence, congruence in yourself, which manifested in your relationship and meeting a really amazing man who you're still with. And then that, naturally translated into the business. But that's a lot of what we did in the beginning.
Yeah. And, I love that you said that because it's incredible. And I love to look at, you know, the medical model. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, you can see me putting quotes around it. And not to diss the medical model, I ended up teaching at a grad school level to students who were going to be multiculturally competent therapists. But me personally, before I met you, I had been to therapy after therapy, like just therapist after therapist after therapist. Nothing worked. I was on every depression medication. I was on every anxiety medication because everything was a Band-Aid. Everything that has been given to me my entire life was a Band-Aid. And when I met you, Jaden, I didn't even realize how deep we could go with the work to work at the root of what was happening. And I threw all of that out. I don't need to go to a therapist. I don't need to take any medication because of how deep we do the work, how deep we rewired. And because of the work that we did too with my attachment style, that's why I can be a business owner. That's why I can show up on social media and not worry about the fear of being perceived or the fear of being seen, because I really stepped into a secure attachment style. And as a result, it helped my relationship. It helped my business relationship. And like you said, you start to see how much it compounds because we worked at the root level. I knew that it didn't make sense anymore to just keep slapping Band-Aids on all of these symptoms. It's like, why are we putting Band-Aids on the symptoms? I don't feel happy. Let's just put this Band-Aid on. Let's just put this Band-Aid on. But with you, we worked on the alignment. We worked on the trust. And you helped me walk around with that undeniable trust in every room that I went in. And that was the root. So that was my compass. And you keep me in alignment with that every single week that we see each other. And it's incredible.
So good. And, I'm hearing you talk about the Band-Aid of pharmaceuticals or this, that, and the other, but it's also can be the Band-Aid of, oh, I'm bored in my business. Let me do a different product, or I'm bored. Let me do
Yes.
different this. It's like all of these Band-Aids that we can have in our work that we do together. It's not, again, about that external necessarily. It's, okay, I did work today. Is my skin glowing? Okay, I went and did this thing. How did I feel when I laid my head down at night? And really tuning into those inner pieces, because I think a lot of us have that tendency, or a lot of people in the world, we're hiding from that deeper thing in doing the Band-Aids. But what do we really want? We want energy. We want to feel radiant. We want radiant Rahaf. Like, we don't want, it's like that's what we're really after. And so that's the focus in this work. And what we obviously find is it happens so much faster when we focus on what really matters. And then not only, of course, you go out and you have a great relationship and you have a great business and blah, 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 blah. None of that really matters, but we're glowing. We're happy. We're healthier as a result. We're full of energy, so that if that business starts to be funky, we have the energy to pivot into something else that's also going to make our skin glow and make our head feel clear when we lay down at night. So I love that you brought that Band-Aid piece up.
Yeah, I mean, and you're describing shiny object syndrome, right?
Yeah.
It's like when we get bored, when we feel like we don't have the life in what we're building, we shift to something else and we shift to something else, right when it starts to get hard. But the work that you teach is the trust to really dial in deeper of, okay, what's not working, what is working, and to focus on what's going well, to focus on where the energy is. And that's something I carry with me and I carry with my clients as well, is you help me focus on what I want. And just by focusing on what I want, I get more of what I want. And it sounds so simple when you say it like that, but it really is just a disbursement of where I want my energy to go. And on such a hyper sensitive level of me noticing, okay, I just felt a ping of an energy leak here. How can I redirect it? How can I redirect it? So now I've just officially stepped into this version of me that whenever I notice a ping of energy leaking, I come back to more energy. And that's why I've been able to hold all the identities that I have in my life of being a business owner, having my partner on my team, being a skateboarder, being a PhD student. So when people ask me, how do you do all these things so strongly? It's because you helped me really dial in how to have peak energy consistently throughout my day.
Yeah, you're energetically intelligent, and that's what we do in coaching with me and in open field. It's energetic intelligence and emotional resilience is at the core of it. Because, I remember one time we were on this call and I forget what we were talking about. I know you remember. And I don't know, it was something about this. I'm like, so funny. I'm like, whatever, like some strategy, like, I don't know, who cares? Like, I'm just so less interested in that. But we do that too. Of course I care. But I just remember you asked me a question and I just said, put your best fighter in. And I was talking about you and you were like, should I do this or should I do that? And I was like, just put your best fighter in. Like if you were playing a video game and you had to, launch this project or launch this offering into the world and make X amount of dollars in X amount of time, and you had to choose your fighter, are you going to put the fighter in who went to yoga every day, did breath work, ate broccoli, or are you going to put in the fighter who, whatever, is scrolling on your phone? And immediately we just realized, oh, I'm going to put my best one in. And then we just start to realize that this energetic intelligence and emotional resilience, like if you were choosing an avatar in the video game, I don't even play video games, but you're like, how emotionally resilient am I going to make this one? How energetically intelligent? I would pick the avatar every time who had the energetic intelligence and emotional resilience because that person's going to go and make $1 million. If you take the one who's really smart and has some good ideas and has some good strategies, but their emotional resilience is trash, I'm definitely not picking that one because we know exactly what's going to happen the first time they get a no, the first time something fails, when they get a mocha instead of a caramel latte and it throws off their day and they don't get any work done. And we start to realize that what's really important.
Yeah, and it can be so easy to think that you need to just do more external things to build and to grow. And while there is value in that, but what you've taught me is when you're in the most regulated piece of your nervous system, like when I'm out skating, I get Calendly notifications.
Totally.
When I'm walking Chippy at the farmer's market, I see the real magic in my business. I see the clients pouring in. And it sounds like I don't even want to say counterintuitive because we're programmed to think from the 9 to 5 structure that input equals output. Well, sometimes the input is doing the things you love, being in that place.
Yeah, because we know, and this is why it's so fun. And I do want to say, because I know you teach a lot of strategy forward stuff, and listen, of course it's important. But right, we were talking about the video game. It's like if the avatar is trash, if we are terrible or incongruent, that stuff doesn't matter. When we are regulated and we're energized and we're tuned in, we're tapped in, and then you throw a killer strategy on top, forget about it. Like, we're going to do something really amazing. And so it's the underlying piece that makes that stuff actually work. I mean, there's probably so many metaphors for this in the world, right?
It's funny you said metaphor because in my mind immediately I thought of like building a building on, like shaky wood or like thin sliced wood. It's like, yeah, you can put strategy on it, but how long is it actually going to last? Which is why it's like, yes, I teach sales. Yes, I teach DM setting, but it's so hard for me to see other people teaching this while also teaching the nervous system with it.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of the work. It's like 80 to 90% of the work.
Totally. Like, I was in my DMs with somebody today and then I'm on a podcast a minute later. Like and it's totally fine. We're regulated. We're moving through the world. And that's what I was going to say before about strategy is, of course, it's important. However, we all know in the world when somebody's energized and they're aligned, we know what it's like to see someone and go, that person did breath work this morning. That person loves their life. I mean, I walk around the world when I'm in a good mood, which I try pretty hard. It's most of the time at this point, because I've been doing this work for so long that usually by the time I leave my house and go into public, I'm happy. And when I'm really happy, because of course we're on a spectrum, we're human, we're not going to be happy, happy, happy all the time. But when I'm really feeling great or I'm really, checked in, I'm energized, people want to talk to you. They're like, "Who are
Mhm.
you?" Hey, this happens to me all the time. I'll be doing whatever, and someone just goes, "Who are you? What do you do?" I'm in. Like, I don't even know, but tell me, I was on a call with someone and she's like, I just need to be across. Like, I just need you all the time. It
Mm.
doesn't even matter. And so, yeah, strategy and stuff like that. But what really makes a huge impact is going out in the world, feeling really congruent, feeling aligned, and it goes into work as well. If I'm trying to work on a project and I'm not really super into it, I become the laziest, worst work ethic person on the planet. When I'm excited about something, 50 hours can go by and I haven't had water or slept because I'm so excited and I don't even need to eat anything because I'm just going to make it happen. And then I'm going to walk into the world and be in a good mood and I'm going to be able to sell it or people are going to be attracted to it. And so the energy becomes really important. And what you were talking about synchronicities, I mean, I play with this all the time where I'll energetically imprint something or set an intention. I mean, just before I went to bed last night, I was just thinking about how grateful I am for the people in my life. And I'm so grateful for my business and I'm so grateful for where I'm going. And I woke up this morning and I had more messages than I normally have. Did I really, or did I just notice them? I don't know. But my experience was that I set that intention and I woke up and there it was. Or sometimes I'll walk into a coffee shop or an event and I'll go, this is going to be a really amazing event. And I'll walk out and I'll have a new connection. I'll have new work. I'll have something really awesome that is oftentimes not even related to money, but just related to making my life better. And it's a huge part of it.
Yeah. And it reminds me of when we had our VIP day and if there was some sort of energetic aura that was around the two of us, I'm sure you could see it like a mile away. We were sitting, you had just put me in a massage because we like to integrate the actual like masculine energy work, take a break, and then I get a massage. It's like a little
You can't
spa
work too
time.
hard, like we need to relax and receive. We can't just work too hard.
Exactly, which is a lot of like what I teach too is like we need that feminine energy to integrate so that we can receive and let our intuition come in. So I went to another planet in that massage and then I came out of it and there was this Wagyu burger waiting for me with you. And we were having a conversation and our energy was radiating so hard that right next to us, this billionaire guy, he had like one of the biggest leads companies in the world. He started talking to us. He's like, what are you guys talking about? I hear you talking about leads and this and that. And it's stemming from what you're saying is our energy radiated that. He didn't have to start talking to us, but not only was our energy at that vibration, but we were also in such a high, well-resourced room, which also goes with what you tell me is how important it is to be in well-resourced rooms so that when you are radiating, you are feeling good, you create more opportunities for people like that to see you and to talk to you. And that's the vision. That's the vision of stepping into more networking that I'm setting the intention for in 2026, which already manifested. We sat there and we said, hey, you said, Rahaf, I see this being the vision for you of being in more of these rooms, having more in-person events. So felt the magic, felt it solidify. Not even a week later, Jaden, I'm moving to San Diego County. Got the apartment, signed the lease with Mike, which goes to show how fast
Have you told your
magic
listeners
is.
that?
Yes, I said it last week. Yeah.
You told me. I was, oh my God. I think he messaged me. I was like, I don't even know what to say. I'm so excited.
We just signed the lease 2 nights ago. So it's officially official. And, with another point of what you said is like our ideal client, both of us and any heart-centered coach, their clients, and I'll say this speaking in the you, like you, the listener, your clients, and what you've taught me, Jaden, is they're attuning to the coach's nervous system.
Totally.
So if we're feeling good, going about our life, skateboarding, painting, whatever your heart and soul is into, then that's what you're radiating on social media. And that's what they want to work with you for because that's the life they want too, which is a value around freedom, a value around a regulated nervous system. So it's just even more evidence that when you focus on just feeling good,
Yeah.
That's what people want to pay you for. Because, hey, you've unlocked something.
Yeah. And also being nutrient rich in community, having a great network, going out. We die in isolation. We actually, as humans, die in isolation. So we need to be, just like you said, in community. We need to be in collaboration with people. And 100% what you said. And that's why it's so important. I joked about the massage, but would you rather? I talk to the clients about this sometimes because they're like, how much, I don't know, we might be talking about money or how much do I need to do here? How much do I need to do there? And the main thing is, how are you taking care of yourself? How are you showing up? Would you rather hire somebody who is burnt out, never had a massage, scrambling to get by, has no connections, no community, or would you rather hire somebody who's well-resourced? They take care of themselves. They're at the farmer's market. They're cooking broccoli. I look at my energy doctor. He lives in the penthouse. I don't really care for Disney World, but he loves it. And that's where he goes every weekend, or he hops on a plane to Paris and he has the most beautiful apartment in LA. And I look at, my mentor and she's this beautiful home. And it's not about the stuff. It's exactly, I want to work with someone who's well taken care of. And if I want to do good work in this world, my first job is to take care of myself. Number one, from the inner congruence, energetic alignment, make sure I'm genuinely happy. And then on top of that, am I really taking care of myself? Because Rahaf, I owe it to you when I get on a call with you that I slept 8 hours, I worked out, I went to yoga, I have my personal trainer. And that's what's really cool about this work is it's not just about me. I love my personal trainer because I love to be fit and I love when my abs are a little tight, but it's really it's for everyone because when I do that, it's my focus, it's my center, it's also community. I'm in a good mood. And then I come back and I can pour that into my work. I'm harping on this because if anybody is stuck, and not just stuck and you're in square one and your life sucks, but stuck at any point, not feeling like you have enough energy or you want to go further than you've gone, do that stuff first. Wake up every day and go, how could today be a little bit more better? Wake up every day and go, how can I take care of myself more? How can I do things that just feel a little better? How can I give myself things that I feel like I might not deserve, but are actually really important? And you'll rapidly see your life shift. You might spark up a conversation with a billionaire at the spa, or you might have a really incredible download while you're getting a massage, or it's just unlimited, but that's going to do so much for you, so much more for you than anything else, if you're asking me.
Yeah, and our intuition can't pour in if we're not in that place.
Right.
And if we're wanting to build a business that's actually aligned with our purpose and our intuition, we need to give it space to be in that area. And our clients too, they want to trust that they can be held by us because it is nervous system work and they know that that's what they're signing up for. It's like, yes,
Totally.
there are the external skills and the strategies, but if I feel like someone can't hold my nervous system, if I feel like you said, if I feel like a coach is coming off burnt out or, because there's a way to move fast and be regulated. And I think that's the example that I show up every week with you is hey, I'm moving fast, but you've taught me how to do that and be regulated. Can you explain, can you put that in words, how that happens where you can collapse timelines, move rapidly, but also not be in scarcity?
I can speak to, so good. I mean, there's so much here, and my understanding and what I've seen is that when we are regulated or we have what I'll say is a flexible nervous system, things happen a lot faster for us. So what I really focus on is nervous system flexibility. And, I had a client come to me once and she goes, Jaden, what do you do when something happens and it throws off your mood for an entire week? And I looked at her like she was speaking Japanese. And I was like, what? I don't know. That doesn't happen to me. And she was like, I didn't have anything else to say in the moment. And she's like, really? This thing keeps happening to me and it throws me off for an entire week. And I remembered in that moment how much work that I had done, and the nervous system flexibility, and that's something that we focus on at the heart of our work, is being able to move through states quickly. So if you get a bad email, if you're listening to this, how long does it take you to come back from a shitty email? How long does it take you to come back from an unpleasant, conversation in a personal relationship? How long does it take you to come back from rejection? How long does it take you to come back from you made a wrong turn and now you have to sit in an hour of traffic on a Friday night and it's 8:00? And so we ask ourselves, how quickly can I move through these states? And when you're not able to move through them quickly, the result is you spend a week, instead of moving towards satisfaction, moving in the direction that you want to go, building a beautiful network, having fun, working out, working in your business, enjoying your life, you spend a week being miserable. No one wants to be around you. You don't even want to be around yourself. You get nothing done and you're not happy. And so when we're able to move through stuff quickly, things naturally happen faster because we spend more time in the ventral and the happy, productive part of our nervous system. And it becomes one of our most important assets that we have. But yeah, you move through things quicker is, I think, the biggest part.
It's funny you said hearing you say that from that person made you realize the work that you've done. Hearing you say that right now made me realize the work that I've done, because that was me when I met you. That any stressful event, I would shut down for literally a week. Like you couldn't even talk to me. That's like, I would just shut down. I couldn't handle stressful situations. And that, you're 100% right. That's why I can move so fast now. That's why when you have a regulated nervous system, you don't lose all that downtime. You come back quicker. Because we need that as a business owner. It's like you said, what if you get an email right before a client call, 5 minutes before, and it's that email that would generally in the past throw you off for an entire week? Well, you can't be thrown off. You have clients in the calendar, you have podcast episodes to film, like whatever it is, it's like you got to come back. And when you come back, you build the evidence that, hey, when I come back and I lock in to who's in front of me and my purpose, I actually handle that stressful situation a lot better. Because there's a more rational version of me that's able to see it now than the version of me that's just dissociated and frozen. So there's that benefit as well.
And it gives you your life. And that's what you were talking about. How do you, with scarcity, how do you be regulated and move quickly and not focus on scarcity? Because I love working with you so much, and I especially love the differences in our brains. Like, you and I are like the opposite. I was thinking when I was getting on this podcast, I was like, it's like you're like, like we're just two, you see those things online. It's like the type A friend and the type B friend. It's kind of like so balanced, or what we focus on is really different oftentimes, which is really fun. But yeah, exactly to what your point is. You're talking about, I need to be regulated in order to show up and do the things I said I was going to do and grow my business. And what I'm thinking also, it's so that we can enjoy life. And you asked, how are you regulated and move? And I know you think that too. How are you regulated and move fast and not focus on scarcity? And there are all these amazing tools to build a flexible nervous system that I teach inside of my work. And one of the really amazing things is you really, at the core of it, you just become aware of what you're doing, and you shift your focus to something else. And so if you get a really bad email, really bad, it's not that bad. Let's just say someone's like, I don't want to work with you anymore. Or I don't know, something like that. You get rejected via email. And you get that email and you have two choices. You either feel terrible about yourself and you spend, all day feeling like nothing's ever going to work out, or you see the email, you go, great, you learn something from it. You go, that wasn't what I wanted, but okay, I see what happened there. And you look outside and you go, oh my God, I'm breathing. I'm alive. The sun is shining. Everyone I care about is around me. It makes me cry just thinking about it. And then you go, I've been doing this for 10 years. I have all these amazing people I work with. I'm actually full of opportunities, and the email doesn't even matter. And you're not gaslighting yourself. It doesn't matter. And you go, great, I just learned a lesson. And now let me focus on what's really in front of me, the opportunities around me. I talk in my work, are we moving above the line or below the line from an energy standpoint? And when we're below the line, all we see is problems. When we're above the line, all we see are opportunities. But when you're really tuned into what's true, I am not kidding when I say I wake up every day and I open my eyes and I go, oh my God, I'm alive. Oh my God. And nothing else matters to me. Like, it doesn't matter because I'm completely aware of the opportunities in front of me. I'm completely aware that the privilege I have to just be healthy, to be able to type, to be able to talk, to be resourceful and resilient, nothing else matters. And so part of the building a flexible nervous system is being able to come back to that stuff. And you just keep on moving forward. And it is authentic. It's not like, oh, let me trick myself into thinking that I'm just glad to be alive and breathing today. It's like, no, that's authentic and that's real. And when we connect to that, all the other stuff that happens on top of us, it's just like, drizzle. It's like you go outside and it's drizzling. You're like, whatever, let me just wipe it off. It's not like you're walking outside into a torrential downpour, tornado, hurricane shutdown. Every time something happens, you're just able to quickly brush it off and keep moving forward. And that's putting our best fighter in the video game. And sure, of course we make more money. Of course we have great ideas. Of course we have these crazy synchronistic collaborations. But what really matters is that we wake up every day and we're happy. And when we wake up every day and we're aware and we're tuned in and we're happy, we can do anything. I really believe that.
I love how tangible that tool that you just gave us of being able to shift. And even you saying, like, this isn't you gaslighting yourself. This isn't you faking it. This isn't fake it until you make it. I do not like that expression. And the way that I see it and what I just heard you say is you're connecting to the highest version of yourself that you know is feeling that way. And that's the way that I see it is, would the highest version of me be feeling this? And when you shift into gratitude, this is why it's like, it's not just saying the affirmations. It's not just, oh, I had this, bad thing happen. Oh, let me say an affirmation. It's like, no, you somatically take yourself to that timeline. And the way that you do it and the way that you just described it is by shifting into gratitude. Because when you shift into gratitude, your entire world changes. I mean, I get gratitude tears whenever I take my brain there because I visualize myself in what I already have. And that just fills my body with expansion. And when you fill your body with expansion, it's almost like nothing else matters. It vibrates at a whole different frequency that everything else falls. And it's the same, a lot of people are like, okay, well, how do I make my business predictable? How do I make more money? How do I do this? And it's really just shifting your energy and focus to be more in that where all the other frequencies just fall and it doesn't vibrate at the same level.
Yeah. And I can speak for myself personally. My goal is to get to the end of my life and to be able to look back and when I enjoyed every fucking moment. My goal is not to get to the end of my life and go, I made millions of dollars. My goal is to get, because I know that that's what's going to matter at the end. I mean, you can listen to people, advice from older people. You can foresee that coming, that when you get to the end, you're going to look back and hope that you enjoyed it, hope that you were present, hope that you were aware of the gift. I had somebody, he was the old director at a marketing agency I worked at, and I posted something, of course, about gratitude, shocker, and he wrote me and he said, sometimes I like to pretend that I'm 90 years old and I got one ticket to come back in time in this body and enjoy the day. And I was like, wow, it's so special. And what would you do if you got that? You might even find that you don't want to grow your business. It's a different business, or it's this, or it's that. And that's just why I focus on the energy and the gratitude and the congruence, because when we get so focused on one external outcome, we can derail ourselves. It reminds me of, I know we're getting up to the hour, but it reminds me of a time that I was so focused on growing my business a couple of years ago. And I really wanted to 2.5 times my revenue. And that's all I was focused on. I wasn't focused on how can I be happy and grateful and wake up every day crying because I love my life so much. I was like, how can I 2.5x my business? And I ended up blowing 20 grand, with a marketing agency who was helping me get that one strategy just to implement this really great strategy. It was great. They were really smart, but guess what? It didn't work because it wasn't actually what my heart and soul wanted to do. And we can orient toward what really matters. And I believe that that's where we get the most energy. I believe that's what sets us up for miracles. I believe that's when we'll see synchronicities. And I believe that's when we're able to access our highest intelligence because we're seeing the world clearly. And when we're regulated, we take things at face value and we see the world clearly. One of the biggest signs of trauma is that we don't see clearly. So someone who's really traumatized, they'll see somebody in a good mood and that person will look like a threat, like a bad person. And then they'll see some scary, sketchy person in an alley and they'll go, oh, that person's safe. And so when we're regulated, we are able to see and discern clearly, therefore access our higher intelligence. People want to be around us. We're more energized. And hey, you just go, what would I like to focus on in this life that I have? I would say let's focus on that and see how successful we can come in the process, because I'd like a really nice house. It'd be fun to be able to do all of these things, but it just becomes an afterthought.
Yeah. And we don't want it to be an afterthought.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, tell us how people can connect with you, Jaden. Tell us how, like, what you have going on, what you're talking about. What are your conversations looking like?
I'm like, can we just hang out here and do the podcast for hours?
I can't believe it's been almost an hour. You said that. I was like, wait, what? We could literally, I'm telling you, we could literally talk for days.
Correct. Yeah. It's just been so fun. If you're listening, I would love to hear from you. I just feel so honored to share. I feel you in the room listening to this. Rahab, it's such a pleasure to be on here with you. And I love this. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in and for spending this hour with us. So in my work right now, the primary thing that I'm focused on is all of what I just talked about, which is really helping entrepreneurs, multidimensional leaders, and creatives access this higher energy and so that we can make the right decisions. I was just talking to a friend. She runs a global mastermind. She's had multiple $1 million companies. She's had a successful exit from her first company. And she was talking about when we make decisions from scarcity or from the wrong energy state, it can cost us years of our life, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It costs us so much when we're making decisions from the wrong state. So what I've been focused on is really helping ourselves resource, make decisions from the right place so that we can go on and do these incredible things inside of Open Field. So if you're listening, you can, of course, we'll put my Instagram and all this stuff in there, but the business and the program is called Open Field. And the idea of that is bringing together really incredible entrepreneurs and creatives and leaders. We've the coolest people in there. I just had someone to one recently, and the first thing she said to me is, when are you having a retreat? Like, these are the coolest people I've ever met in my life. And so it's a really cool group of people, really intelligent, brilliant souls in the room. And the idea is that, you get to come every single week, get clear, source new ideas, and focus on what really matters, because I never want us to be in that position where we blow 20 grand or 30 grand or 100 grand on the wrong decision just because we didn't go for a hike before we checked in and asked ourselves, is this really what I want? Or I don't want us to walk into a room and miss a million opportunities just because we're focused on how we can make this one thing work. And we're so attached to it. We're so attached to like, how can this one social media strategy work that you don't even notice the person sitting next to you who wants to invest and partner with you in an even bigger business that you couldn't have even thought of on your own. So Open Field is really about being clear, being connected, being energized, resource. It's coaching with me. And it's also just being connected to this mycelium network of entrepreneurs and people all over the world. Members collaborate with each other all the time. They work with each other. They hire each other. They host each other on their whatever platforms that they have. They refer each other on Reddit. I didn't even know people do that, but that's what's in there. So that's the primary place that you can enter my world. And of course, I also do private coaching. So we have a VIP year for Open Field. We have private coaching, and those involve the VIP day with me. If you wanted to have a Wagyu burger and sit at the spa with me, it's an option. Yeah.
Amazing. And I mean, I'm so grateful that I've been in a container with you for so long, because it's allowed me to continue putting one foot in front of the other and to do it in a way that feels good, to do it in a way that feels mindful.
I have so much respect for you because you've never stopped. And I see this in myself, I see it in other people, and I think this is the biggest place that we screw up, is that we start feeling good, or we start making money, or we start getting in a flow, and then we stop doing the things that work. I know this can happen to me. I'll go to my energy doctor and I'll be like, twice a week. I feel really good when I go twice a week. And then I'm feeling so good, I don't even know what to do in my own body. And I go, okay, once a week. Okay, biweekly. And all of a sudden I wake up and I go, oh, that weird feeling's back. Oh, I stopped doing the thing. And then instead of meeting extraordinary, you just wallow in good to great. Oh, a little extraordinary. Okay, back down to great, back down to good. And one thing I respect so much about you is that you keep going no matter what. You keep going when you feel at your worst. You keep going when you feel at your best. And that's why you've been able to, I feel like we didn't talk about this enough, but the amount that you've been able to do is absolutely wild. Like how quickly you've been able to grow, how quickly you're able to pivot, how you're able to, it's amazing, bring a new offer into the world and already be making, so, already have it be really successful, already have people jumping in going, oh my God, how can I work with you? How quickly you've done things isn't me. It's because you've gone, I'm going to keep doing the things I know that work for me no matter what. Most people won't do that. Number one, I think because they don't have the courage. And number two, because they don't have the capacity to feel a life that really feels incredible. And you've grown that capacity and you're always at the edge of that. And you're always, 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 always showing up, reinvesting no matter what. And it's just so, I respect it so much because 95% of people will go, I'm good. I got what I needed. I'm good. And then you check in a year or two later and they go, oh, fuck, I'm in the same spot.
Yeah.
And 95% of people don't reach extraordinary. And you go, why? Because they don't have the courage to go there. And you do. And I have so much respect. And I've seen it firsthand what happens when you just keep showing up. I've never met anyone like you. And it's amazing. I think it's one of the biggest things that we can all take with us is when you feel like you're at the top, that's usually the most important time to keep doing what works, even if it doesn't feel like it makes sense, even if you feel like you need a break, even if you feel like you're good, keep going. As an object in motion stays in motion. And you can either have this really amazing thing, come back down to where you were, go catch up, or you can just keep growing. And Rahaf, that's what I've seen you do. And it's really inspiring.
My heart is gushing. Thank you, Jaden. And, like you said with your energy doctor, it's like, yeah, you could be the type of person that says, yep, I did the thing. I feel good. I'm good now. I don't need it anymore. But it's like, no, you feel good because you did the thing. It's like, I didn't just stop after 3 months with you. I didn't stop after a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Yes, the reason why I'm doing so well and I'm able to show up so massively is because I have you in my corner. Because that I know that the reason why I feel good and I have this energy is because I continue to show up to do the work because it never ends. And there's just different layers of it now. So thank you for holding me.
Easy to quit. That's like what I want to leave everyone with. It's so easy to quit.
Yeah.
And you think about that. In most people, I'd love some data on this. Most people just don't have it. They don't have what it takes. And most people live mundane, ordinary, semi-fulfilling lives with relationships that are just okay because it's so easy. It is so easy to quit, and it's so easy to just stay in the same loop of these experiences that really don't fulfill you on a soul level. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do that. Easiest thing in the world. And so when you find yourself rationing into that, whether you're working with me or you're working with Rahaf and you're like, I'm good, I've got it figured out. Do you? Or are you just going back to the easy thing, which is wallowing in some form of your own mediocrity? I mean, it's so easy to quit.
settling. And even it's just the energy of settling. It's like, it's stagnant energy. It's like, oh, I feel okay. Oh, this relationship is fine. Okay, this feels kind of good. Oh, I'm selling something that I actually kind of like. It's like, no, like you said, it needs to be extraordinary or it's not good.
Totally. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, we could literally keep talking for hours.
Yeah. I'm like, part 2, please. This was so fun. I say it all the time. You're so brilliant. You're so intelligent. I am just always so happy for the people who get to work with you inside of your work. And I'm just so grateful that this isn't the only hour that we get to spend. We get to spend an hour together every week. And it's
I
one of
know.
my most favorite hours of my week.
Me too. Me too. And I'm going to put the links in the show notes of how you can connect with Jaden. And what's your Instagram handle?
My personal is Jaden B. Hummel. And then my business is Open Field with no E. So it's at OPN Field. And please, if you listen to this podcast, just say hi to me. It's me in my DMs. Just like pop in and say whatever. It doesn't even matter what you say. Pop in and say hi. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're interested in working with me, there's of course going to be links in my bios, or I'm probably selling something in my stories, but just shoot me a message and just be like, hey, I'm interested in work together. And, we can chit chat a little bit or just hop on a call and see, whether you want to come into Open Field or if you want to do some one-on-one. I'd love to hear from you and connect with you and bring you into this mycelium network that we're creating of energy rich people.
And there is one thing that's certain is your life will never be the same after Jaden, because that's who I am now. So thank you for everything that you've done for me and that you've impacted me with for all these years, and for being on here and sharing your magic and your energy with my listeners. And thank you.
It's such an honor. I love you so much. And thanks for having me on. And for everyone here, thanks for listening and being here with us.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
If this episode resonated with you in any way, if something clicked, expanded, or shifted for you, I'd love for you to share it and tag me on Instagram at Radiant Rahoff so I can celebrate your breakthroughs with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe and leave a 5-star review so more high-level coaches like you can find this space. Thank you for being a part of this community. I love you, and I'll see you next Tuesday.